This is Boxing Tickets NI. We're here for part 2 at Holy Trinity. Delighted to be joined once again by the Apache Anto Cacace. We're 2 weeks out now from your Rescheduled, obviously fight with Cordina for IBF and IBO titles.
Yep.
I guess obviously the last time we spoke it was your birthday, your 35th birthday in February.
That's right.
A couple of hours later the card was postponed. Probably maybe fair to say probably the worst birthday present you got.
It was alright. Listen, it gave me more time to prepare and to get back into the gym and plug away. So, not really. It was just the way things happen in this game, and I'm kind of used to it at the minute. So, I'm not gonna complain. I'm just happy it's rescheduled and we're getting the fight again.
It's, I guess, when it sort of, I guess it couldn't have came at a worse time. We'd done an interview and then I was sort of going, I don't want to text you. Obviously, it's your birthday. Even though it was fight news and everything else, was like, don't want to obviously message you in any way and go, Anto, your fight's off. And like, I guess, obviously, when you look at the grand scheme of your career, you probably, until you step foot in the ring, you probably don't expect these things are going to happen.
That's the way it is. I mean, there's been plenty of times. There's a story, I was in Philadelphia, training away for a fight, and made it to the venue. The opponent made it to the venue. Fight didn't go ahead because the opponent got up in the middle of the night and went home because his room was too cold. So, unless you're in the ring, there's nothing certain.
Like, what a, I guess, we're 2 weeks exactly out now from obviously the fight.
Yeah.
Like, what a card you're on, like a historic card, obviously the first ever 4-belt era, obviously Tyson, Fury and Alexander Usyk. Like, I guess you probably don't think too much of that fight because you have everything else to deal with, but in a way for you, is it good that your fight with Cordina, say, isn't the main event? Everybody else just focuses on the main event. So, sort of what's in the undercard, you can sort of go about your sort of normal routine without too much fuss.
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't even, I don't care about any fight that's on the card, really, like, and that's not meaning disrespectfully, like, but I mean, I've got my job to do and Joe to concentrate on, so, I mean, it's great to be part of this big card and these big nights, so, but at the end of the day, I have to concentrate on what I have to do. So,
12 years, obviously a pro. Now we touched on it the last time. When you I'd probably say one of your biggest characteristics over the last couple of years is sort of this bulletproof mentality you sort of have. I guess you've been through so much heartache in the sport that it probably is writing the story even better to know that everything you've come through, in years to come, people's going to have videos and stuff about Anto Cacace, the man that sort of so much heartbreak in the sport, and then obviously gets to the promised land of here and now and you. It's like, what obviously a roller coaster you've had over these last 12 years?
Yeah. I mean, 12 years of pro feels like much longer. You have your ups and downs, but for me, it's about getting over them, and I have got over them, and when the opportunities arose, as in the British title, I always had to get in the mandatory position, so I've taken them all, you know what I mean? I beat Sam Bowen undefeated, the main man at the time. Beat Magnesi there, the last one. Not the last one, the one before that. My last performance wasn't a great performance. There was issues there, but I've always overcome. And for this, I'm just grateful to have this opportunity. I know there's not many people that give me a shot going over here, even at home here, but I couldn't give a fuck, to be honest, you know what I mean? Because I've been in these situations before and I've pulled it off, so who's to say I might not pull it off again? I've trained my bollocks off for it, so.
But obviously you look at, your last fight was obviously May of last year, obviously in Belfast.
A year ago, wasn't
it? So in some ways it's probably the fight being delayed, probably maybe worked into your hands in a way because you've been used to inactivity, sort of, whereas for Cordina, I know he's boxed since Monaco, but in some ways it's sort of fallen into your favour, the fact that you've been used to sort of having sidelined obviously out of the ring, so it's actually working in your favour.
I don't know. I mean, it just is what it is, kind of thing. Like, I don't think it worked in anyone's favour. It would have been nice to get it done then, but again, I just touch on the extra time. It's just for me. Happened that with you, but them extra. I've been in camp now 10 weeks. Do you know what I mean? 9.5 weeks, and it's been a long one. But it depends on what way you look at it. I'm just happy. Again, just happy that it's happening. Grateful. Thank God that When Fury got cut that time, the whole card could have been rearranged, or Joe could have wanted to move on and get a better offer elsewhere, and you know, he stuck to his guns and he's fighting me again, and he sat it out and waited. So 4 days.
The Saudis probably are the ones to think the most. You know, probably, you know, we've known for years that obviously you're an avoided man, that people won't fight you. Joe Cordina had sort of said in the past that he wanted unifications, he wanted big fights. The Saudis have come along and they've offered bundles of money to people, so in some ways you've probably the Saudis to thank for you obviously getting this opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're obviously offering Joe. Joe would probably be getting the best pay he's ever got, probably double or treble it. I'm not sure, but I would say so. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I've got Turkey Usyk to thank. He's putting up the money, and he's bringing these big nights, and he's bringing these big names. You know, you see the way the football's going, the snooker's going, it's all going to Saudi Arabia, and I'm just buzzing to bring all my team over. Like, you know what I mean? Everyone I know that's going over, they're all buzzing. My brother, he's coming over. I mean, it's just so exciting. So exciting. The buzz is going to be unreal. Again, like underdog mentality. I do feel like an underdog. I'm going over to lap this up. I'm going over to enjoy it. And there's no pressure on me. Not one single bit of pressure on me. Again, everyone thinks I'm going to get beat anyway. But let's see. Let's see.
Obviously, watched you training here this morning. Obviously, you seem as obviously, you know, I've seen you obviously training and everything else for quite some time. You look very sharp, very on it.
No.
Is it you using that underdog mentality that's bringing the best out of you probably at the right time?
Maybe, or else I'm just driven. I mean, I say underdog and all that, but I'm still a winner. I'm still a winner. I still want to win. There's not one bit inside me that would not go in here and die trying. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going over here to make up the numbers. Like, I'm going over here to fight like fuck. I go over here and try and cause Joe problems. You know, we all know what Joe's about. Joe is a slick operator. He's very fast, but can he take heavy shots? You know, I'm not their average fighter. I can make it ugly. I can make this fight something he's never been part of before. So that's the plan.
Your fight with obviously Joe Cordina has sort of started a new wave with obviously Queensbury and obviously Matchroom. You know, obviously 2 weeks later they're doing the 5v5. In some ways, probably your fight with Joe Cordina sort of started that in a way where they're going, we've already one fight sort of. I know even though your fight was announced and everything else, people were still mentioning you for the 5v5 card.
Yeah.
Like what a dramatic time it is for boxing everywhere that two of the biggest powerhouse promoters are coming together. And obviously 2 weeks after your fight card, they're putting on a 5v5.
Listen, it's unbelievable for the average Joe, for these fighters, even in Britain, that are getting the box on these type of cards, are getting paid well. And that's not beat around the bush. I mean, boxing's about, everyone wants paid, and that's just the way it is. Like, I mean, if they're going over the, you know, these world title shots, if I was getting this world title shot somewhere else, you know, I wouldn't be getting half the money. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, it's great to have the Saudis on board because the money's there, and these guys in Britain and guys in Ireland are getting these opportunities, and they're getting paid for it, and they're bringing some decent money home to the family.
How do you see the 5v5 going on the 1st of June? Obviously, you know, we've seen obviously all the matchups and everything else. How do you see it going? I guess obviously you're a Queensbury fighter in the day, so you're always going in their side, but how do you see that sort of fight card going? Obviously,
well, I hope Queensbury win. I mean, I don't know who's on it. Who's on it?
I think you have Zhang and Wilder, and you obviously Hamza Shiraz fighting.
Shiraz, and that's right. Andy was saying about that. Nick Ball. Listen, I want Queensbury to win. Don't know Eddie Hearn. Don't know anything about Matchroom. They've never been really interested in me, so fuck them. I'm not interested in them here, or any other fighters. To be honest, I'm interested in Queensbury, Frank, and what's going on here. As for Matchroom, don't give a shit.
Looks like they're obviously going to do the second part, obviously the 5v5 in Wembley. Obviously, you beat Cordina and obviously land the IBF title. Would that be on your horizons, I guess? Revisit.
Who's on that show?
They're going to do it again in Wembley in September.
Right, through
5v5. So it's obviously
all right, okay, in Wembley. Okay, well that's all right. As long as Frank's behind it, that's good. You know what I mean? Listen, win, lose, or draw this fight, I've still got it. I've still got plenty to do here. There's plenty of names there that I can fight after this fight. You know, I fight Archie Sharp on you know, any of these boys. Win, lose, or draw, I've still got plenty in me, and I've still got fights to be made.
Hearing them words, obviously, I know we spoke about it last time. Hearing them words, obviously, Andy knew. When we spoke the last time, you said you were going to do a lap of the whole venue. Well, obviously, we've seen your victory, obviously falling to your knees with obviously Magnesi. Is it still obviously you're going to do a lap of the venue, obviously after you beat Cordina?
Listen, if I won this fight, it's just it's history. It's history. I'd be the first Irish super featherweight champion ever. That's amazing. That's crazy. So like, listen, I would that type of joy I can't even imagine right now. I've got a job to do, and I don't even want to picture that type of stuff, really. Do you know what I mean? I just want to visualize what's going to happen in the fight, what Joe's bringing to the table, and just doing things correctly from here to fight night.
The first, obviously, major, obviously, the 4-belt era in 5 years now, obviously just past 5 years. Can you see, obviously, yourself, obviously, being that sort of conveyor belt for the next slot? Obviously, we've seen Carl Frampton done, we've seen Ryan Burnett's done. You could be the guy that wins one of these 4 major belts, but then starts the conveyor belt going again for everybody else can follow very quickly.
Well, listen, there's plenty of up-and-comers in the country. I'm not going to say that because, no, I'm probably not, to be honest, because there's plenty of talent in this country. There's Crocker, there's agyarko, there's a million of them. So they're the next generation, and they're all building themselves up, and you know, most of them are bigger than me as it stands now. If I win this title, yeah, I'm a nice headline act for Belfast, but the boys are the future. Do you know what I mean?
Well, listen, obviously, thank you very much for your time. We wanted to keep it short and keep it sweet.
Sweet.
Obviously, 2 weeks today, obviously, you take on Joe Cordina for an IBF.
Who would have thought? Like, who would have thought? You know what I mean?
It's crazy. The days
Would have been nice if it was 5 years ago, or you know, obviously, but it is. I'm 35 now. I mean, you cannot kill the fucking buzz. End of story. I am buzzing. You know what I mean? So
the
I'm here.
You've had, obviously, over the years, obviously, you know, at times, obviously, you were predicting that you weren't going to fight and stuff again. You know, where you obviously are being the worst of the sport. You now think that perseverance has got you to this point, and it's through you more than anything. Obviously, we know people's putting the money up and everything else, but it's your perseverance and keep going and keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, I've said that before in the past that I wasn't going to box, but you know, this is it. This is it. This is what was more of the anger and frustration. I am a fighter. Nothing's ever going to change. I have been a fighter since I was 9, 10 years of age. Even after this, still going to be a fighter in some way, shape, or form. Don't know how or what way, but I'm going to be part of it because that's who I am, and I don't think I would be able to live without it. In fairness, so I'll find a way to be part of this game and continue to do what I do.
Will you and Tyrone McKenna still be in your 60s with boxing gloves on? Obviously, we've seen that Tyrone's obviously having to come back. Will you be going to collect your pension?
I want paid off whiskey and white. I want a few quid now wrapping whiskey and white top here in this interview. You know. Well, me and Tyrone's a good friend of mine. Lives up the street. Delighted to see him back. Love a new promo video. Listen, he's the same as me. We both joined together all them years back. It's like, how do you leave the game that you're used to? It's something that you've done your whole entire life. As much as you fucking hate it at times, excuse my language, I curse like mad this one. As much as you hate it at times, it's a game that you hate, you love, you know, you despise. There's so many emotions that come with boxing, and Tyrone, I'd say he can relate to a lot of it too. So when we're chilling out my back, out his back, wherever we are, it's always boxing. So I'm glad to see the big lad back.
I guess obviously just finally to pass on obviously thoughts to Sean McComb. Obviously,
absolutely.
Sean McComb was robbed day and night. Obviously in America against Barboza. You know, Sean's probably one of the great guys. Obviously, there's a lot of great guys in the sport, but Sean, I guess, you know, has to pick himself up now and go again. Obviously, great run he was on. And
listen, that shows you Sean McComb. That was late notice for Sean McComb as well, and look what he done. Do you know what I mean? The guy's a superstar, not blowing smoke up his arse. It's just what he is. He's very, very good at what he does. Barboza got outclassed, outboxed, and smashed up that night. And this is the dirty business that we're in. We all know it. Sometimes you need to take a baseball bat to the fucking fight with you, because you know the only chances of getting it and beating these golden boys is literally going downtown on them. I mean, you just can't beat them. This business stinks. We all know it. No beating around the bush here. This business stinks from the core right up. So we all know it, and we're all used to it. But commiserations to Sean. That type of performance shows exactly where he's at, and I expect him now to make more money and bigger fights out of that performance, even though he lost.
I very much echo that. Fingers crossed, obviously, in 2 weeks' time. Judges obviously aren't the talking point in your fight, obviously, with Joe.
No.
Obviously, from that happening, obviously, hopefully, they make sure they pick judges that's going to score a fight correctly rather than obviously what they scored the shots.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how things go.
Well, listen, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
We look forward to you coming home in just over a couple of weeks' time with a new strap, and we'll start a surprise celebration for you again like we done the last time.
That would be nice. Be nice.
Yeah, no, listen, thanks very much for your time. We'll catch up when you're back from Saudi.
Thank you very much.